Alright class, today we got multiplying decimals. And multiplying decimals is basically the same as multiplying. The only thing is that I have these two things that you need to remember. And they're kind of like the key phrases that you need to know. And the first one is this: count out the decimal or decimals. And then the second thing is count in the decimals. Now you're probably thinking, well, what does that mean? And I'm going to show you right now. So we got a problem right here that says we got 45 hundredths multiplied by 3. So I'm going to set up my problem. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to solve it. So, and I can write that here. So the first thing you're going to do is solve. If we wanted to make an order of operations in a way, or order of solving, multiplying with decimals, first thing you're going to do is solve. So you're going to go 5 times 3 equals 15, 4 times 3 equals 12, plus 1, 13, 0 times 3 equals 0, plus 1. Alright, now here's where the stars come into play. Like this. Count out the decimals, or decimal. What I mean by that is you go from the problem and you count the decimal out to the end. 1, 2. You count it out. 1, 2. 2. Basically what you do is you make this like a whole number, and now it becomes 45. Okay, you count out the decimal. Now what you do is you take that number 2 and you count in the decimal on the answer. So you go 1, 2, and that's where you place the decimal. So once again, it's count out the decimal, 1, 2, place value to make it a whole number, and then you take that number 2, or whatever the number might be, but in this case it's 2, and you count it in the answer. 1, 2, and that's where your decimal goes. Now if that's a little confusing right now, don't worry, we're going to do some more problems right now, and then also in class, you'll be doing problems on your in your notebook, and if there's questions, I'll be here to help you out. So let's take a look here at this next problem. We're going to have, and I can put my problem in any order that I want as far as which number goes on top and which number is going to go on the bottom. So I'm going to do it this way because I want to multiply the least. I don't want to have, you know, a bunch of sets of partial numbers and then have to add them together. So 2 times 2 equals 4, 0, 6, 0. So we count out the decimal. 1, 2, 3. Count it in. 1, 2, 3. And you're just counting place value. That's all you're doing. You're just counting it out, place value 1, 2, 3. And then you count it in. 1, 2, 3. And there's my answer. Let's do it on the next one as well. We have the great thing about multiplication is you do not line up the decimals. You don't have to do that like you do addition and subtraction. Now I probably should have wrote the problem the other way just so that I have to multiply less. And I could still do that, but I'll just leave it because I already wrote it out. So 7 times 3 equals 21. So, well, 7 times that equals 0 plus 2. And 0. Carry my 0. 15. 1, 0. Add it up. 1, 7, 1, 0. Alright, now if you go back to our stars, it said count out the decimal and then S, decimals in parentheses. Here we have 2. We have a decimal in this number and in this number. So we got 1, 2 here, and then we got 1 here. And you add those up to get 3. Now I got to count in 3. 1, 2, 3. Decimal place goes there. So once again, let me just show you how that worked again. There's a decimal in both numbers. So I do the top one first. I count it out. 1, 2. I got a 2. And then there's a decimal here, so I have to count that one out as well. Count it out, that was 1. I add the 2 together to get 3, and then I count in the total places that I had to count out. I count those in, 3 spots. Alright, we got one more, and I don't really have room, so we'll just kind of squeeze it in right over here. We'll go 5.4, 4.2. 4 times 2 is 8, 10, place value 16, 21. Add it up, 8, 6, 2, 2. Alright, let's count that place value. We're going to count it out. 1, 1. That equals 2. 1, 2. Place value, or I'm sorry, decimal point goes right there. Now, if you wanted, instead of going 1, 2, 1, like that, you just go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Whatever is easier for you to do. If you need to put the numbers over here and add them up, do whatever it takes so that you know what you're doing and you have a system down and you get the right answer. So, same thing with here, we just counted it out. It equals 2, so 2 count in. Done. The biggest part here is counting out the decimals and counting them back in. The rest of it is just simple multiplication that you've been doing for years now, and it's all about the decimals, counting it out, counting it back in. Alright, so we'll be working on problems in class to help you get it. If you have any questions about this, go ahead and write them down. I'll help you in class. Remember, count out the decimals, count them back in.